Hey there, welcome to True Crime and the Court of Public Opinion. I am Alexis Knight. Here we talk scandals, headlines, cases, and courtroom chaos. But at the end of the day and through it all, we are here for one thing: the truth. And today, let's face it, the truth is uncomfortable. There was a time when influence meant something real. It came from experience, wisdom, and earned respect. Now it comes from pixels, platforms, from people with good ring lights, God complexes, and followers willing to do anything. In this episode, we're not talking about celebrity. We're not talking about politics. We're talking about a different kind of crime. Not committed by serial killers, not ordered by gang leaders. Crimes committed by followers. People so mentally hijacked by someone they admired online, they cross the line into violence, into death, into lives they'll never get back. And the most dangerous part, the influencer didn't even have to ask. Some just hinted, some posted, some said nothing at all, but their audience did the rest. So today we ask a different question. Not just who committed the crime, but who made it possible. Let's get into it. She was young, gifted, and already beloved by millions, not because of some PR machine, not because of a record label, but because she invited people in right into her bedroom through a camera lens with nothing but a piano, a voice, and a screen. Christina Grimmie wasn't just a singer. She was one of the first breakout stars from YouTube, if you didn't know, long before TikTok and Reels, before influencers were a thing. Grimmie was doing what the internet was made for, building a real connection. Or at least that's how it felt. She didn't sing to the camera. She sang through it. She replied to comments. She posted updates, shared her own struggles. This girl was raw and emotional and accessible. And in a world full of unreachable celebrities, that made her powerful. But it also made her vulnerable, because with visibility comes projection. And with that projection came a man named Kevin James Loibl. Kevin wasn't a stalker in the traditional sense. He wasn't leaving letters or pacing outside her house. In fact, there's no public record that they'd even spoken. But in his mind, they had a whole relationship. In his mind, Christina wasn't just a singer, she was his. He studied her videos, changed his appearance to be worthy of her, underwent LASIK eye surgery, whitened his teeth, became vegan even. All of it to look like someone she might love. And when the fantasy began to crack, when he realized he would never be close to her in real life, it didn't lead to heartbreak. It led to rage. On June 10th in 2016, Christina performed in Orlando, Florida, and it was supposed to be another milestone in a promising career. After the show, she did what she always did. She stood by a table, signing autographs, hugging her fans. Her arms were wide open when Kevin approached her, and she smiled. And he raised the gun, and in front of a crowd, he shot her 3 times. Her brother tackled him to the ground, but Kevin turned the gun on himself before he could be stopped. He died on the scene, and so did Christina. What makes this different? Well, let's be clear. This wasn't a celebrity murder, was it? This wasn't a disgruntled fan who felt ignored. This was a parasocial kill. A murder that's not based in reality. It's based on illusion. Kevin wasn't responding to rejection because he'd never been rejected. He'd never even been acknowledged. His entire motive was rooted in the lie that proximity equals connection. And now where did that come from? Well, it came from the camera. from the sense of intimacy that platforms like YouTube create, from the idea that seeing someone every single day, even through glass, somehow means they are a part of your world. And that lie, that illusion, it is built into our culture now. I mean, we call them influencers, but the conversation rarely includes what they're influencing. It's not trends, it's not all those purchases, not really. It is belief. Belief that we know them, the belief that they know us. And when that belief breaks, some people break with it. Christina Grimmie's death didn't just shake the music world. It shattered the illusion that fame in the digital age is somehow safer, that being loved online means you're protected in real life somehow. Well, that belief died with Christina. Unlike traditional celebrities who are kept at arm's length through managers and security and press handlers, digital creators rise by removing those barriers. It's part of it. And Christina was a pioneer of that model. She opened the door between artist and audience. She held it wide open. And that's what made her fans love her. But that's also what gave Kevin the window he needed. It wasn't her fault. Let's be clear, she did not lead him on. She did not engage. She did not even know he existed. But when millions of people feel they know you, someone will eventually believe they own you. Now, after the shooting, the conversation here quickly turned to security. Why wasn't there a metal detector? Why wasn't he searched? But, here's the truth. Nobody saw this coming. Because Christina was not playing a stadium. Everything was casual. She was playing a venue that seated a few hundred people. Small seems safe. A mid-sized room, a meet and greet table. The kind of setup that screams safe. And in that world, especially back then, no one thought you needed security against your own fans. But that is what she needed. And not because her fans were dangerous, but because one was delusional enough to think she belonged to him, and that is all it took. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. This wasn't random. This wasn't unpredictable. This was a warning sign that came years early, and we didn't listen. Because now we have seen this same pattern again and again, right? Twitch streamers stalked by high-dollar donors who think the affection is owed. They paid for it. TikTokers moving homes after obsessive fans show up outside their door. YouTube stars receiving death threats after unfollowing someone or turning down a collab. This illusion of closeness is no longer an illusion to some people out there. It's a contract. And when that contract is broken from their expectations, even though it never existed, people are getting hurt. What makes Christina Grimmie's case so significant is that it marks a turning point. Before her, most people didn't know what the word parasocial meant. Do you know what it means? Did you know what it means? After Christina, we started asking, how much access is too much? Because now we live in a world where influencers live stream from their own kitchens, where story time means trauma dumping, where fans are told, "You're my best friend," in one video, but then they're blocked the next. It's emotional whiplash, and for most people, it is just content. But for someone unstable, that shift from inclusion to rejection can be a trigger. Kevin Loibl didn't shoot Christina Grimmie because she was famous. He shot her because he thought she was his, that she owed him something. And when the fantasy broke, he tried to erase the reality. We should have changed how we talk about influence. We should have talked about boundaries. We should have made platforms accountable for how they blur intimacy and access. But instead, we doubled down. Now creators are expected to overshare, to stay available, to stay personal, and sometimes to stay silent when things feel unsafe because, hey, that's the job. But Christina didn't die because she overshared. She died because someone lied to himself about what her presence in his life meant. And that's what makes this different from any other crime we'll cover today. This wasn't hate. This wasn't ideology. This wasn't revenge. It was possession. I mean, what if your biggest fear didn't come from the outside world? What if it came from the very people watching you, supporting you, tipping you? What if the threat lived in your own fan base? In the world of live streaming, I mean, creators don't just post content. They're performing live and unfiltered in real time and often for hours. There's no edit button. We're not doing a take two. It's raw, it's direct, and it is very vulnerable. And that vulnerability is exactly what makes this whole thing dangerous. Because on the other side of the screen aren't just viewers, they're fans. There are also trolls, obsessed followers, people with usernames instead of faces, right? And some adore you, some want to ruin you, and some, they'll call the cops on you just to see what happens next for their own entertainment. Have you heard of that? I mean, what is swatting? That's what it's called. It's the act of making a fake emergency call, usually a violent threat, like a hostage situation or bomb scare, to trigger a full-scale police response at someone's address. And that address is usually the home of a live streamer. And the intention to send armed officers, often SWAT teams, into someone's house while they are live on camera. The whole thing is a spectacle, and it is happening, if you have not heard, over and over again. And for some followers, it's the ultimate power move. You control the chaos. You control the streamer's fear. The term swatting came out of the gaming world in like the early 2010s. What began as a prank call quickly escalated, and people realized they could watch live as their targets got raided. Cameras rolling, followers watching, chaos unfolding in real time. And yes, it was always dangerous. But it didn't get real for the public until someone died. December 28th, 2017, Wichita, Kansas. Andrew Finch wasn't a streamer. He wasn't even part of the online feud that started the call. But after two gamers got into this argument over a $1.50 bet in a Call of Duty match, one of them reached out to a notorious swatter. And that swatter called police and reported a fake hostage situation at what he thought was the other gamer's address. Well, he was wrong. The address belonged to Andrew Finch, a 28-year-old man with zero connection to this game. When people arrived, they believed they were walking into a volatile situation. Finch opens the front door. An officer, believing Finch was reaching for a weapon, shoots and kills him. Just like that. A man was dead because of a fake phone call triggered by an online gaming spat, watched live by thousands. The swatter, well, he was arrested. The gamer who gave him the address, arrested. But the culture that made all of this possible, it's still very much alive. Streamers rely on openness. They interact with their fans. They share locations. They film from their own living rooms. But with every camera angle and every window reflection, every casual mention of a city or even a street sign, people are looking at all of that, mapping out your life. Some just want to feel close to you. Some want some kind of control. And some are waiting for a reason to make that call. And that is what swatting is really about, right? It's about control. It's more than a prank. It is an act of terror disguised as a joke. And for the people it targets, it's not just frightening, it is lethal. I mean, you sit in front of a camera to make a living. You open yourself up. You talk to your chat. You try to connect. And then midstream, your door explodes open and a team of armed officers point rifles at your head. All because someone watching made a phone call. How can you not be distracted by that the whole time you're working? I mean, for many live streamers, swatting isn't just a risk, it's a recurring reality. Yep, that is the world we're living in today. Some creators have been swatted multiple times. They'll tell you how they leave their front doors unlocked so police don't break them down, how they call local police departments ahead of time with swatting warnings because they know they're going to get called on. They keep their hands visible during streams just in case. And I mean, they don't do this because they're paranoid. They do this because they know it's happened before and they know it could happen again. And because they understand something the public does not. When you go live, you're not just performing. In a way, well, in all reality, you are giving up some of your control. Let's talk about Jadena Kika, a popular gamer and streamer from Europe. He was swatted during a stream, and not once, not twice, 6 times. At one point, a viewer threatened to call emergency services again unless Kika removed another creator from his team. I mean, this message? Message is, you do not control your career, I do. And you don't run your stream, I do. That is what swatting is about. It's not just chaos. It's about dominance. Digital extortion with a police raid as the threat. And the systems in place to stop it? Well, practically non-existent. I mean, Twitch knows about swatting. YouTube knows. The gaming world lives in this reality. But here's what they won't say out loud. The platforms are actually profiting from this chaos because swatting clips, they go viral. Viral means dollars, and dollars means nobody cares. Live stream realness, it sells subscriptions. So instead of solving it, they just shift the blame. Hey, be careful what you share. Use a P.O. box. Don't give out personal details. I mean, this is all true, but zero support? I mean, they're all valid tips, right? But they ignore the core truth every single time. This is not about information. This is about influence. Swatters don't need to hate you. Some actually will claim to love you. They watch every day. They tip regularly. And they know your routines. They compliment your outfits. But that support is conditional. It comes with strings because if you say the wrong thing, they will turn on you in a minute. Partner with someone that they don't like, well, they will punish you. Block them? Oh, that's starting a war. Tip culture has blurred the lines between fan and financier. And some viewers start believing that tipping buys access. Or worse, control. And when you take that control away, they retaliate. That's what's happening. And it's not by unsubscribing or unfollowing. Sometimes it's by calling in a hit, disguised as maybe a welfare check. I mean, we started this episode talking about influence, and not just as popularity, but as power, right? Emotional, psychological, sometimes even physical. And swatting proves that. It's not a glitch in the system, guys. It is the system. A system where digital creators, they don't have any real protection. Police are trained for war, not for Twitch. And followers know that with the right lie, they can absolutely ruin a life. I mean, swatting is not a joke. It's basically attempted murder using someone else's gun, isn't it? And the person pulling the trigger might be watching. Let's take another one. I mean, this guy never pulled a weapon. He never called for violence. But everywhere his name shows up, I mean, in classrooms, court dockets, in open browser tabs, violence seems to follow. Talking about Andrew Tate, who calls himself a self-made millionaire, a kickboxer, businessman, a motivational speaker. But his real product is influence. The kind of influence that spreads like wildfire in a dry forest. The kind that doesn't just shape thought, it replaces it. And for a certain type of follower, that influence becomes a new religion. So who is Andrew Tate? Well, he is a former kickboxing champion turned internet figure. I mean, Tate built a digital empire on alpha male ideology, male supremacy rhetoric, and get-rich-quick courses, a relentless attack on modern women and weak men, and so-called woke culture. He was full of a lot of things, and his rise was not accidental. It was all engineered. He encouraged fans to clip his videos and flood the algorithm and recruit others. And guess what? They did. They flooded YouTube and TikTok and Discord and Reddit. I mean, his message became unavoidable, really. But Tate wasn't just selling masculinity. He was selling dominance. Be feared. Be in control and never apologize. And if a woman doesn't respect you, make her. That was the undertone, sometimes the overtone. Tate framed relationships as war zones, where control equals value and where women are property, and where empathy is weakness and submission is the only acceptable outcome. Don't settle for less. His followers did not just nod and log off, that's for sure. They seriously mobilized. Boys as young as 12 began quoting this guy in school. Teachers across the UK and the United States reported alarming trends. Girls being silenced in class discussions, male students defending abuse, and teens parroting misogynistic lines verbatim from Tate videos. I mean, in London, some schools had to actually pause group discussions entirely after female students were harassed by Tate supporters during debate exercises. I mean, one teacher said, it's like they're being programmed. You challenge their views, and they become aggressive. Not defensive, aggressive. This wasn't about disagreement. This was indoctrination. Tate claims he's being taken out of context, right? That he's playing a character, that it's just tough love and men need to hear it. But his influence does not stop at locker room talk. He has entered homes, classrooms, courtrooms, and in some cases, it's led to something much darker. Andrew Tate built an empire by telling men they were weak. Then he sold them the cure, which was himself. In 2022, Tate's presence online became really impossible to avoid. I mean, this guy wasn't just viral. He was everywhere. YouTube clips, TikTok montages, Instagram reels, Discord invites, all pointing back to Hustlers University. That's his paid program, by the way, that promises wealth, status, and total control. What did students learn at Hustlers University? Well, not finance, not business. They learned dominance and submission, and a worldview that treated women like liabilities. They learned that women are emotional, they are manipulators, and they don't deserve respect unless they earn it. Those kinds of lines were fed to young men already unsure of themselves, and for some, it really clicked. Now I know what to do. I mean, not because it was right, it's just that the message was clear, they understood it, and it felt like, okay, now I have a direction. It gave them an identity, a language, an enemy. And when you give a young man all three of those things, you don't need to tell him to hurt anyone. I mean, they can fill in the blanks all by themselves at that point. Now, in 2023, Tate was arrested in Romania on charges related to human trafficking and rape, but he denied it all. His followers, they doubled down. They flooded comment sections with "free Top G," and they blamed the Matrix. They absolutely blamed feminism, and they blamed you for not seeing the truth. Because by now, this wasn't just content, this was a cause. His fans weren't watching him anymore, they were defending him, protecting him, worshiping him, and that's where influence becomes something more dangerous. Doctrine. When your audience sees your arrest as prophecy, not proof, you're not just an influencer. You're really a cult leader with Wi-Fi. Since Tate's rise, educators and social workers have seen spikes in gender-based harassment, alpha male self-diagnosis, and an open disdain for therapy, vulnerability, and any kind of boundaries. I mean, some boys have been reported quoting Tate during sexual misconduct investigations. Others have posted TikToks taunting female classmates, mimicking this guy's style and cadence and rhetoric. But if asked where they learned it, they say what he told them to say. It's just a joke. You're too sensitive. He's being taken out of context. Definitely programmed. I mean, Tate's accounts have been banned. His content has been taken down, his platform stripped, only because it got that big. But his message, it's still stronger than ever. His followers archived everything, and then they uploaded it again. They clipped it, translated it, and injected it into meme culture and gaming circles and comment threads. You cannot kill the message when the audience becomes the messenger. That's what happens here with influencer followers. It's the modern blueprint of influence. They don't just build a fan base, they build a militia. It starts with a stitch, a video out of context, and a caption like, "This ain't it." And by the time the creator refreshes their feed, their comment section is a war zone full of strangers who now believe they deserve to be punished. It's not cancel culture, guys. This is punitive broadcasting. A system where major influencers act as a judge, jury, and executioner and let their followers carry out the sentence. Does that look familiar to you in any way? And if the target happens to be small and unknown, well, that's even better. Because then there's no pushback. No one gets in trouble. There's no PR team, no publicist to issue a statement. Just a person with a cracked voice and a phone that won't stop buzzing. The new format's now familiar. A mid-tier influencer finds a small creator who said or did something questionable, maybe offensive, maybe just awkward. They post a takedown, emotional, enraged, perfectly edited, and the comments start rolling in. OMG, I can't believe. Someone find her a job. She needs to be stopped. I mean, followers immediately start to take action. And they're not thinking about it, so there's no thinking involved here. This is reacting. And they swarm, they screenshot, they investigate, and they expose. Becomes inevitable. Phone numbers, addresses, family members, employees. And once the match is lit, there's no controlling that kind of fire. This is influence as a trigger. Not to buy a product, not to vote a certain way, but to destroy someone on command. I say it all the time. All anyone needs is to spark one emotion, and they've got you. In 2022, a young black makeup artist posted a TikTok critiquing a major beauty brand's lack of foundation shades. Okay, she wasn't rude. She wasn't hostile. She was just speaking honestly. Well, a much bigger influencer, known for, quote, tea content, posted a response video, and she mocked the makeup artist's look, claimed she was being divisive, and said, "We're tired of playing victim." She never told anyone to harass this girl, because guess what? She didn't have to. That's how powerful it is. Within 24 hours, the original creator, the one who was just posting her critique, her business email was hacked. Her phone number was leaked. Her home address was exposed, and dozens of death threats flooded her DMs within 24 hours. Did you catch that? She deleted her account the next day. She was probably working on something, her own project, destroyed in 24 hours. But who's responsible in something like this? Well, legally, not the influencer, because she never said to go attack. She never said anything. All she did was post a reaction. And what did it do? It invoked other reactions. Because emotionally and socially, she just handed her audience a target and gave them a moral script. She's the problem. She's hurting the community. Do whatever you want about it. And they sure did. And not because these people are evil. They really think they are doing the right thing because they're already in this is the thing. They're already in, they're drinking the Kool-Aid, and they see nothing else but that they must defend this person they care for. This isn't hate mobs. This is moral mobs. People who think they're holding others accountable. But they're not confronting injustice. They really aren't. They think they are. They're copying behavior. They are doing what they're told. They are mimicking rage. They've seen their favorite creators call out someone and get applause, and now they want in. One comment turns into 100, and then 100 into 10,000. And pretty soon, who cares about the truth? Now it's just about momentum. And I know a lot of times we want to blame the person behind the camera, right? The one influencing. But the damage is being done on the other side. There are two sides to this. It's not just a call out. It's not just drama. It's not even about really right or wrong. What this is about is what happens when thousands of people decide in unison that someone needs to go. You see it every day. Someone posts a story, a makeup tutorial, a vulnerable moment. Maybe they overshare. Maybe they say something that doesn't land right. Maybe they just exist in a way that sets somebody off. Then a bigger account notices, stitches it, duets it, quotes it with 3 words. This ain't it. That's all it takes, guys. That's it. That's how easy it is. Within hours, the comment section flips. Support turns to instant surveillance. People start digging and screenshotting, linking things that have nothing to do with anything. And once the pile-on starts, there's no getting out. You know you're doomed. The original creator deletes the video. Doesn't help anything, okay? Because it's all a machine now. They turn off their comments, but it is way too late. They go private. I mean, now they're just running. Now they're trying to apologize even. Now they're the ones manipulating. You see what a mess this is. There is no path to redemption once the mob decides you're the problem. And I say it every single day. It's the public that has the power. If we could all just figure out what we want to do together, we can get anything done because this stuff's going on and we could stop it. I mean, people who used to follow someone and they're very loyal to them will switch sides in an instant. They'll start leaving comments like, I used to like you, but now it's disgusting. Or, I knew something was off about you this whole time. And this is very heavily, this weighs heavily on the person that it's happening to. It's instant, it's massive. I mean, suddenly your face is being used as a warning sign in someone else's video. You're now a symbol, and then you're a target. I mean, and the worst part, it's not really the influencer who hurts you, it's the audience. That's what I'm saying. Regular people that don't even want to partake in something like this find themselves partaking in pushing someone to suicide. Users with anime profile pics, and pets in their bios. These kinds of people are turning rageful and violent. They'll say things in your inbox they would never say to anyone else. They will post your address. They'll email your boss. They will flood your family's photos. And they'll call it justice. They've determined it's justice. And it's too late for you, that's for sure. Because this is what they have been taught. This has all been grooming out here, guys. Everyone's in the flow. It's not by one person. It's just by the entire system itself. The system rewards speed, not accuracy. It rewards rage, not reflection. And it doesn't need any proof. I hope you get that point. Proof is dead. It just needs momentum. Once the mob picks up, it doesn't matter what you meant, what you said, who you are. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're 14 or 45. If your comment section has decided you are a villain, you are done. People have lost jobs. They have been stalked, doxxed, driven offline, institutionalized, and yes, some have even ended their lives. And almost none of that came from any kind of direct order. It came from implication, from tone, from getting you, the people, to react. One creator raising an eyebrow and saying, You see this, right? That's all it takes. No one has to say, hey, go ruin her life. They just know that if they post it in a certain way, it'll all just be handled. This is not an influencer problem, guys. This is a follower problem. And the worst part is the followers think they're being helpful. They really think they're doing something good. And so this is where the major problem is. You can't get someone to fix a problem if they don't see there is a problem. They think they're calling out abuse and protecting others and doing the right thing. But what they're doing is becoming a weapon, a crowdsourced punishment engine with no off switch. And by the time it has gone too far, the target's disappeared and the mob has already moved on to the next one. I mean, influence used to mean you had something worth saying. And now it just means people listen when you speak. And that is the exact problem, because in this world, people are not just listening. They are obeying. I mean, we used to fear leaders with guns. Now we follow leaders with followers, and some of the most dangerous ones. They're not the ones shouting commands. They're the ones whispering just loud enough for the crowd to hear. And in that way, the influencers are dangerous, but it's the followers that are the weapon. And that weapon gets turned on by emotion. These influencers don't tell anyone to destroy. All they're doing is opening the door, raising an eyebrow and saying, hey, I'm not saying you should do anything, but... And the followers take it from there, and they absolutely do something. There are people out there right now. They are streaming and they are posting. They are building entire careers on emotional control. That is what's happening out there with everything. And they pretend it's empowerment. They say, well, it's just content. But trust me, they know exactly what they're doing. They know they can move millions with one single post. And you're part of that millions. They know they can weaponize the emotions, grief, jealousy, anger, and that loyalty. And they know that if someone gets hurt, they can walk away clean. They didn't do anything because they didn't say to do it. They didn't tell you to do anything. They just let it all happen. They're influencers. We live in a time where influence really is unchecked power, where a stranger's voice on your screen can completely hijack your mind. Hijack your mind. Did you hear that? It's happening every day with one emotion. They have you locked in. Where real lives are being destroyed in the name of entertainment. It's not entertainment anymore. It's manipulation. It's control. And no one is asking any questions because they're all too busy watching and under all that control. So the next time you see someone being dragged, ask yourself who the real villain is. Who's benefiting from it? Why is it being shown to you? And then ask the question that no one wants to answer. When a follower kills, who built the altar they died on? Who? This has been True Crime and the Court of Public Opinion. I am Alexis Knight. Mondays and Fridays, Headline Lies. Tuesdays through Thursdays, all the other chaos. Thank you for listening, and I will talk to you all the next time.